just gonna hurt me.
Hi, and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. Today we are talking about a Hulu original movie, Run, but we're talking about the ending. Spoilers.
Spoilers ahead.
So this film reminded me a lot of Misery.
Mm-hmm.
It is that sort of captivity, but you'll probably remember... No, I'm going to shut up now. So this film reminds me of Misery. If you've seen films where your heroine or hero is caught by some nasty psycho person, and then they've got to figure out a way to escape. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those stories where just the tasks get harder because your killer or your psycho person is that much smarter than you, or very smart, and that's annoying when you're like, damn it, why couldn't it just be a dumbass killer or a dumbass psycho?
Exactly.
In these films, it's really tense because they're sometimes 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. Mm-hmm. And that's what I liked about this film. Like when our protagonist was trying to escape her room, you know, she does the little lock picking, and then there's a broom, and you're like, damn it, if you got no legs, what more can you do? And so she figures out a way to, you know...
she's amazing.
Yeah. If you're like me, you probably would have figured out that she isn't actually her daughter, that her daughter died, and so she kidnapped this girl and then forced her to become a crippled person by giving her some nasty drugs, and then raises her to be basically a captive without her knowing that she's captive, until she starts figuring things out. And that's the movie.
Yeah. Until
she needs to escape. And then we get to the exciting bit.
And I think for me, the interesting tension towards the beginning of the film is that in my mind, I was like, oh, don't tell me she's making her daughter sick. Before the daughter even figured it out. But then you keep, like, she appears to be such a nice mom, such a good mom, you know. She's like, she grows all the vegetables, she feeds her this wonderful organic food.
I knew you'd like that bit.
Well, yeah. So she really does a good job of caring for this child. And so you have the same conflict that the daughter has when she's like, this can't be true that my mother is doing this to me. You know, this just, like, I mean, put anyone in that situation, you just would be completely like, this cannot be true. You would have such conflict. And I think that was well expressed in the film.
Yeah. There is a film on Netflix called The Medic, or The Ambulance Medic, something like that. You'll recognize it. That has a very, very similar premise, which when I was watching this, I was like, very similar captive story, and even so towards the end, which we're going to talk about now, very similar ending where the captive then gets one up on their captor, thank you, and kind of does the same thing what was done to them.
Yeah. So when we saw that she was going to visit her mum, and that she obviously does this frequently, visiting her mum in the psychiatric hospital or women's detention facility hospital, I was like, oh wow, that's like, you know, because you were saying like, that can't be.
I was like, why would you do that?
I was like, well, for all intents and purposes, this woman raised her. This is her mother. She's never known any other one as a mother, so, you know, there would still be a kind of a bond there. But I was mistaken. That's not why she was visiting her mum. She was visiting her to torture her.
Yeah, so if you're confused with the ending, so basically what's happened, she's taken the green pills that her mother gave her all those years to keep her paralyzed.
Yeah.
And she's doing the same thing to her kidnapped mother, her captor.
Her kidnapped mum.
Yeah, her kidnapped mum.
Yeah.
Her sugar mum, which she isn't. Her scary mum.
You're not my
her
real
fake
mum.
And so now she's going to, for all intents and purposes, I'd imagine, do that for years to come. How long is she going to hold on to that grudge? Because that will eat you up, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so that actually made me sad at the end, because when I originally thought, well, she's sort of made amends and she's going to visit her mum, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Not so much.
How do you get over 17 years though of torture and capture and someone forcing you to understand?
Well, then she was talking about having a child herself and her child learning to walk, and it just made me slightly nervous. You know, the fact that she's poisoning her mum. You know, what kind of a psychosis?
So let us know.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments. Do you think that she did the right thing? Would you have done that, or would you have never gone to see them again and just put them, like, get over it?
Yeah.
Maybe go find your biological parents, because they would have been distraught and
Well,
so
that's
happy
where
to
I
have...
thought it was going to go.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen, but we never see that, do we? There's no
No.
scene. That would have been a nice kind of fruition, but I guess they wanted to keep it edgy, a bit weird and wacky, you know.
But thrillery.
Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would hate to think that she would ever do that to her own child. I don't think she would.
Can you imagine that a few years' time, she stops going and she stops giving her the pills, and then that mother gets well and comes back and kidnaps her new daughter?
Ooh, sequel.
Sequel. Yeah. Well, let us know what you thought about this. Is that what you got from the ending? Thanks so much for watching this Hulu review. But most of all, until next time, remember,
Live long and Tuesday.